If you buy Resident Evil Requiem, you're an idiot. It's official, Capcom has gone to their lowest point in their careers. I never thought something this bad would be possible, but Resident Evil Requiem has proven that things can always get worse. Listen, I'm only exposing this garbage from my heart. It's like a father criticizing his son to do better. I've been a fan of Capcom for decades. 50% of my gaming catalog consists of Capcom games. Street Fighter, Devil May Cry, Monster Hunter. I have played all of them. Name one game I can guarantee you I've already platinum it. Expect their Golden Goose, which was never good to begin with. Resident Evil is their weakest franchise by far. I never was a fan of its gameplay, its cast of characters. So was it surprising that Resident Evil Requiem was gonna be trash? Of course not. But since Capcom personally sent me an early review copy on my mailbox, I told myself fine. How bad could it be? I mean, this might at least be playable, right? Biggest mistake of my life. I beat the game. I have all the achievements. The credits are rolling right now as in making this video. And as the king of gaming, the one with godlike taste, I will officially declare that Resident Evil Requiem absolutely sucks. Ha 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 ha. Aw geez, where do I even start? Honestly, this left me speechless, and believe me, it has to be pineapple on pizza levels of bad to get me in that state. Resident Evil Requiem single-handedly made me from an Capcom fan to an hater. I thought after Monster Hunter Wilds they would have learned a thing or two, but now, I've lost all hope. I've deleted all my digital Capcom games and put every single physical copy I own into my dumpster. Resident Evil Requiem, more like Resident Evil Rectum, because this game is some straight ass bro. Even for Resident Evil standards, this has to be by far the worst Resident Evil game yet. And, unfortunately for you Capcom nuthuggers, that is gonna be a fact, not an opinion. Resident Evil has always been trash since the very beginning. These games are made for losers who have no idea what real horror games are. These games suck so bad they gave me the urge to throw up blood. However, as a person that believes in the yin-yang philosophy, I will say Resident Evil does have a few good games, just the majority that anyone glazes all happen to be overrated trash. Now the only good Resident Evil games are as follows: Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City and Resident Evil 6. These two are the zenith of Resident Evil game design. The rest were either copy and pasting whatever was trending at the time that other games have done better. That'll be the unplayable janky controls, fixed camera angles, over-the-shoulder third-person combat that was never played tested properly, the first-person survival horror, all platitudinous, all outdated. They all belong in the trash. And then you have the remakes that are all basically just Ctrl-C Ctrl-V. Resident Evil 4 poor jobs, and oh of course they just had to use the blueprint of the worst Resident Evil game, which is again in fact not an opinion. Resident Evil 4 was the one that you idiots were sucking off like an posse from the street. I mean, for God's sake, Resident Evil 4 remake was literally just an overpriced 4K texture mod. They haven't fixed the plot holes. They haven't fixed the controls. As a matter of fact, its controls somehow worse. The game had more bugs than in Crackhead's house. So what does Resident Evil Requiem do different other than going back to the roots? Ah yes, the classic nostalgia bait. You think the new, woke protagonist will get cells? No, she won't. She's more bland than sliced bread with no butter. So guess who Capcom had to bring back? No other than every cringy MySpace emo's favorite man crush for the fangirls and boys alike, and middle-aged Leon Scott Kennedy. Like, for God's sake, let that what rest already. That motherfucker is in his 50th now. Very convenient that this takes place in Raccoon City again. Like, geez, my god, fanservice at its finest. And perfect mask to hide the fact that Capcom is creatively bankrupt. That could never be Silent Hill. I mean, let's face it, Silent Hill has always been better in everything. The games, the movies. You clowns don't believe me? Let's compare them, shall we? Unlike Resident Evil, the old Silent Hill games were actually playable. Every Silent Hill game sold more than every Resident Evil, and yes, that includes 4. Leon wishes he could have been the well-written muscle Chad like James Sunderland. The bad guys from Silent Hill are more memorable. Fuck Albert Wesker, he's a bitch. Pyramid Head is the real deal. And oh, not to forget, Silent Hill has the better remakes. Silent Hill 2 was just as good as I remember, if not better. Fact. Not an opinion. You disgusting low IQ, low testosterone, fruity Capcom troglodytes may cry about this fact, that Resident Evil will get beaten again. Silent Hill is coming in hot with Silent Hill Townfall. As someone who is playtesting Silent Hill Townfall while making yet another godlike video. Yes, I'm good multitasking. I know. I can assure you so far that it fixed all the damage Resident Evil Requiem did to me. Resident Evil Requiem is so bad it made me dumber by 50%, it gave me pimples on my face, it left my gamer spirit for dead. Silent Hill Townfall undid all of that. It's like the 100 guilder print when Jesus Christ was healing the sick. Silent Hill did exactly that. Oh yes, it is that good. Game of the year, easily. I had to suffer playing this garbage, so you all didn't have to. Use that smooth brain for once and take this warning into consideration. Do not buy Resident Evil Requiem. Resident Evil Requiem isn't scary because of its vibe, gameplay, enemies and whatever. It is scary because on how unbelievably garbage it is, and how it brainwashed slop-eating pigs like you to waste $70 for it. Go waste your money, loser. Go ahead and end up on a psychiatrist after experiencing this trash. But don't say that the king didn't warn ya. Ha 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 ha. Oh, and before I forget, all of you are grounded for 182749812491872 million years. Go to your room now, you fucking animals.